You have been lied to. Now, I'm not getting into politics. I'm talking about you've been lied to when it comes to self-publishing books. Some lies have been to get you to buy a new app or software that someone's trying to sell. Other times, the lies have been told to you by presenting something as fact when it's really just that person's opinion. And in all honesty, sometimes these lies aren't blatant or meant to be malicious. They're just someone's innocent misunderstandings. But regardless of how malicious or innocent these intentions may be, you deserve to know the truth. So I'm going to share with you 7 lies that you've been told about self-publishing books. Now, to be honest, I could have gone way more than 7, but I didn't want to make this video too long. Even though YouTube likes it, I know you don't. So I want to keep this short, sweet, and to the point. The first lie you've been told is that traditional publishing pays better than self-publishing. To be honest, it really initially, I could see how someone would think that. If you get traditionally published, a lot of times you'll hear of people getting, $5,000, $10,000 advances and things like that. But the truth is that's not how traditional publishing really works. I've done videos where I compare traditional publishing and self-publishing because, to be honest, I've done both. I've been traditionally published and self-published. So I can tell you, not from theoretical, I can tell you from experience. Yes, you may get an advance if you get traditionally published. First of all, most of the time, especially if it's your first book, it's not going to be the thousands of dollars that you hear, 10,000, 20,000 or anything like that. It may be 2,000. It may be a little more than that, but it's really not going to be too much. But the reason why it's called an advance is because it's just that. It's an advance on sales that they're expecting to get from you, which means until you've reached that amount in sales, you're not going to get any more money from your books. And keeping in mind that if you're traditionally published, because there are more people that need to kind of get their hands in the well, if you will, you're going to get a much smaller percentage of royalties than when you self-publish. One, instead of getting 60% or 70% or 80% royalties like you can on some of the self-publishing platforms, you're getting, maybe 5%. And that's if you're lucky. How long is it going to take you with only 5% royalties for you to meet that $2,000 advance, $10,000 advance, or whatever? So when you think about the numbers, yes, the number, anything with the thousands is going to sound like a lot, especially when it's upfront, right after you put your heart and soul into this book. And so, yeah, it makes perfect sense that you're going to think that that's a better deal. But in the long run, it's not. In the long run, getting higher royalties from self-publishing is going to be better. And another thing that people think when it comes to traditionally published is well, this person's going to at least, the company's going to be selling my book and promoting and everything else. Depending on the size of the traditional publisher, you may get a little bit of that at the beginning, kind of like Amazon does a little bit of that in the first 30 days when you self-publish. But they have so many clients, so many books in, that they're working on, or that's, already being launched or whatever, that's just a fraction of what needs to be done. So even if you're traditionally published, you still need to do your own self-promotion in order to get more sales to your book. The second lie that you've been told when it comes to self-publishing books is that KDP Select is completely exclusive. If you sign up your book for KDP Select, then you cannot have your book anywhere else on the internet except for on Amazon. That is not true. That may be just an innocent misunderstanding, but KDP Select is only exclusive to your ebook, to the digital copy of your book. And so you can have your book signed up for KDP Select and still have the print copy everywhere. You can put it on any platform that you want. You can have the audio version anywhere. It's only exclusive to Amazon when it comes to the digital version, the ebook version of your book. And it's only for that 90-day period. So go in, and again, I've covered this before, but go in and make sure that you deselect that box to get auto renewed into KDP Select. So you're only in there for 90 days, unless you want to be in there for longer. But again, with KDP Select, it's only exclusive to the ebook version of your book. The third lie that you've been told, and this is something that it seems like everybody is chanting this. You either have the people that love Amazon or the people that hate Amazon. And one of the biggest lies is that Amazon is the best place to sell your book. It's not the truth. I mean, first of all, Amazon KDP, and don't get me wrong, I publish on Amazon KDP almost every single one of my books, but I'm not exclusive to them because, yes, they are a huge marketplace, and I don't want to take that away. They are a huge marketplace. They have amazing amount of traffic that they can bring to your book and bring eyes to your book. But that said, the royalties are not the greatest, when compared to self-publishing. If you self-publish on other platforms, you may get 70%, 80%, depending on, the ebook or the print book. But the best place to sell it, honestly, with the highest royalties you can get, would be selling it on your own website. Now, the downside to that is obviously, like I said before, is that traffic. And so finding a way to get that traffic to your website is obviously going to be a big step that you have to take. But Amazon is not the only platform. It's not necessarily the best platform. And depending on what part of the world that your customers and potential customers are at, Amazon may not be the biggest platform in that country anyway. But again, when it comes to getting sales and everything else, yes, they have a great amount of traffic, and I don't want to take that away, but they're not necessarily the best platform for you, especially long term, because, and we've talked about this before, but they're Amazon's customers. The only way they're your customers is if you have access to that data to be able to contact them, to tell them you're running a deal, or if Amazon decides they don't like your book anymore and they close down your account, how can you reach out to your customers and, previous customers and tell them, I'm no longer on Amazon, I'm now on my website? Well, you can't, because they're not your customers unless you have your own website, have an email list, have a way to communicate with them off of Amazon. And again, this isn't just Amazon. I mean, it's like that with any platform. If you, even on YouTube, if YouTube takes down my videos and takes down my account, I have no way of reaching out to you and let you know that now I've got videos such and such a place, unless you're on my email list, or, some other way that I've reached out to you, or you've gone to my website already. So it's the same thing with Amazon. So Amazon is not the best. They're great. They can get you good traffic, but the best way to get sales, the best way to get the highest royalties is on your own website. And if you'd like me to do a video on how to set up, your books and how to sell them on your own website, let me know down in the comments. And if enough people are interested in that, maybe I'll do that in a future video. And if you're new around here, my name is Keith Wheeler, and all I do is share hints, tips, and tricks on how to make self-publishing easier for you. Now, the fourth lie you've been told is something that unfortunately I've actually mentioned from time to time, but again, in an innocent way. And that is that competition is bad. And if I ever made you think that competition is bad, then I apologize. It is not bad. Competition is what helps make us make money. If you're in a niche that has no competition, well, then chances are nobody's interested in the book. If there's competition out there, then that means that there's a potential audience out there. People are seeing the need in that. Obviously, you want to look at the BSR, the bestseller rank on Amazon, to see that things are actually selling. That's how you know that books in that particular niche are getting sales. If the closer they are to one, the better, the more sales you're getting. And if you're just starting out, then I do suggest that you try a niche that has less competition, not because competition is bad, but because it's a little bit easier to get more visibility if you're one in 1,000 books rather than one in 10,000 books. But that being said, competition isn't bad. Competition is what helps change pricing, right? Especially if you're being competitive in a positive way, where, you're charging a little bit more than the next person. You don't want to be the lowest, because then you're going to shoot to the bottom. And if you guys are in a competition to get the cheapest book, then you're not going to make any money, right? That's not what we want. We want healthy competition. That's why, places like Burger King and McDonald's and all the burger joints that are out there, there's, people might say it's super saturated. There's still a new one that comes out every year, and they still succeed because there's still a healthy competition. There's still people out there that are willing to try something else. And again, if your book has a better cover, if the interior, if the writing, whatever it is, if it's a higher quality, if it's better, then regardless of the competition, you can get sales. And so competition, as long as it's healthy competition, is not bad. The fifth lie you've been told is that this is not passive income. you know, you'll see ads that say, passive income and, you can do this and, and it's, you make money without doing any work. And that's somewhat true. That's somewhat true. A lot of times you'll have, especially, gurus that are especially in writing, where they'll tell you this is not a passive income stream. It's not passive in the fact that you can do it without putting any work in. But if you look at the definition of what passive income really is, and this is according to the fine folks over at Wikipedia, passive income is a type of unearned income that is acquired with little to no labor to earn and maintain. Yes, it takes effort to create it, but it's not labor in the physical sense, And as far as maintaining it, once it's up there, once it's online forever, unless you've got a reason to take it down. But once you create it, it is there for eternity. And any income, you can get sales organically, regardless of what platform you're on. Now, depending on your niche, depending on, the competition that we talked about, depending on, how hungry the audience is, well, the amount of organic sales may be less, but it is possible to get organic sales. You don't have to run ads. But that said, even if you run ads, that's still passive. You're not doing any physical labor. You might be going in there, doing some, analyzing your analytics and things like that with your ads, like I teach in other videos. But as far as it being passive, it's as passive as you probably can get. And so, and I've said this in the past, when I first started out, it's not passive income. It is and it isn't. So maybe this is kind of like a somewhat of maybe not a lie, maybe a fib, if you will. So it is not passive in the initiation of it. When you create whatever you're creating, yes, it may take effort, especially if it's a long, epic novel or something like that you're writing, or, you're creating some detailed puzzle books and things like that, which I've done. But in the long term, and once that book is published, the rest of it's passive. How much you put into it, how much effort you put into it is completely up to you. You can get sales without putting any more effort into it. And because passive doesn't necessarily mean no labor, it means little to no labor. Well, then, yeah, once it's created, the rest of that's all up to you. How much you want to put into it, how much labor you want to put into it. So you can make money organically without any additional efforts or work on your end. Again, how much you get back from that depends on the niche that you're in and how competitive it is and how hungry the audience is. But I've known plenty of people in, romance and other genres like that, where they just make money without running any ads, without doing anything else. They create the book, they publish it, they move on to the next one. The sixth lie that you've been told, and this one really gets under my skin, is when people say, and it happens a lot when, they're creating software or they're creating, sometimes there's these apps now where you can create an ebook in 3 easy steps. You can upload a project in 3 easy steps. Creating something that is good quality should never take 3 easy steps. The word easy should not be in there. Now, I'm not saying it has to be difficult. If you're doing this, I'm assuming you're doing it because you want to make money. And the best way to make money is to not get kicked off of KDP or any other platform. So you need to make sure that you put good quality effort into it. Yes, KDP is the first place that I suggest people start uploading to, just because I think that the upload process, first of all, it is 3 tabs, and and it is fairly intuitive, as well as there's plenty of videos out there, whether my channel or other channels, to tell you how to do it. And KDP has their own videos that show you how to upload it, but it's not necessarily 3 easy steps. I mean, you have to come up with a title. You have to, are you going to have a subtitle? What keywords, phrases are you going to put in there? Yeah, that's all just on the first tab, as well as, what author name are you going to go by? What are you going to put in your book description? And I'm not saying this to scare anybody or overwhelm you, but it's the truth. It's not 3 easy steps. Now, it's not 3, arduous steps either, but I'm sick and tired of seeing people being taken advantage of by, putting their hard-earned money onto something, and, because they've been told it's 3 easy steps. And that bothers me in so many ways. One, I can't stand to see people get taken advantage of, but also because what happens is, and I've seen it, I've heard people on my channel, viewers tell me emails I've gotten where they tell me they were told it was going to be 3 easy steps on such by so-and-so. And they didn't see the success. They thought it was harder than what it was meant to be. So they just assumed that they were doing it wrong and they quit. And I hate that because I truly believe that everyone has a story to tell, whether it's a written story or, you've got an idea for a journal, you've got an idea for a puzzle book or whatever. You have something to share with the world. And I hate, one, for people to get taken advantage of and lose their hard-earned money because someone, was taking advantage of them not knowing. And so, of course, if someone sees that something is easy, they're going to, be more liable to do it. But I also don't like it that it kind of breaks their spirit as far as thinking that they can do it. And they immediately think, oh, I must be doing something wrong because this guru said it was easy and I don't find it easy. So it must be me. And it's not. It's that guru that lied to you so they can get your money. And hopefully you'll find a channel like this or one of the other great channels where we'll kind of steer you in the right direction and encourage you to not quit. Because I've seen so much success in this industry and I've seen so many people have success in this industry. And the biggest difference I've seen between those who fail and those who succeed is the people that failed quit before they saw that success. And it really comes down to them thinking that they did something wrong because they were lied to from the beginning. And the seventh way you've been lied to when it comes to self-publishing books that I'm going to talk about today is only ads sell books. And I kind of alluded to this earlier when we were talking about passive income, but you can sell books organically. Like I said, you don't have to run ads. I didn't run ads for probably the first 3 or 4 years that I was self-publishing. I couldn't afford it. And it wasn't until I started seeing organic sales and started seeing, enough success that I was able to start investing more into my business and I was able to start running ads. Now, I'm not gonna lie, especially if your book is ready for it, running ads is definitely something that can help you get more sales, can help you see greater success in a faster time frame, but you don't have to run ads to see success. And again, a lot of it's going to depend on, the niche that you're in, the competition that's there, how hungry the readers are will determine, how much organic sales you really get. But there's other ways to get it besides ads as well. You can, have an email list, social media. There are plenty of other free ways to promote your book rather than just running ads, as well as just organic sales. Now, again, it's important to know that you can absolutely sell books without running ads, but ads can dramatically increase the number of eyes that see your book. Now, if you want to increase the chances that those ads will actually turn into sales, then you want to make sure that these things right here are all dialed in. Oh, and Amazon ads aren't the only game in town. You can actually run book ads on these platforms too. I'll catch you inside one of these videos. And remember to write right.